Coming in at number 34, a first-time Ottawa Senator signed to a 3-year contract at league minimum, basically an extra entry-level contract. It's 26-year-old Zack MacEwen.
Zack MacEwen is essentially Austin Watson's replacement, right? He's going to be a right winger on the fourth line that's going to take a lot of the duties of fighting away from guys like Brady Tkachuk. And that's what this team needs. That I don't care what side of the argument you're on. You hate fighting, you love fighting, you want only analytical darlings on your team, you want some toughness on your team, whatever. You do need someone that if things are getting heated and out of hand, you can't have Brady fighting these scrubs like he was doing before. I'm all for Brady fighting, but it's got to be, it's got to be a guy that's worth taking him off 5 minutes for. Like, you can't have a fourth line getting 5 minutes and Brady getting 5 minutes and Brady potentially hurting himself in an altercation like that. So Zack MacEwen gets a 3-year deal at league minimum. I think that's fine for me. But Ross, the one thing I'll say, and I said this when they signed Zack MacEwen, he's got a lot of bravery and courage. Like, he doesn't step down from fights. He goes in there swinging. But similar to Austin Watson, his win percentage on fights is very low.
It's higher than Austin Watson's.
It's higher than Austin Watson's, but it's still very low. Like, even today, Ross, I was like, maybe I just had it wrong. Like, I want to freshen up and revisit. I watched his last 5 fights. He didn't win a single one of them. Now, at least other than, like, Austin Watson was kind of just a punching bag, and that was it. Whereas Zack MacEwen's at least throwing swings, and he's connecting on a couple of them. But the end result of the fight had not gone his way in many of the fights I saw.
I shouldn't bring up then when you say who Brady shouldn't be fighting that Brady's fought Zack MacEwen twice.
Well, no, that's a perfect example. Like, I wish Zack MacEwen was there so Zack MacEwen could have fought Zack MacEwen instead of Brady Tkachuk.
Last year, Zack MacEwen split his season between Philadelphia and LA, where he was actually traded for one of the worst players in the National Hockey League.
I don't even know what he's thinking. He's just a complete brickhead. He's got nothing up there. Bad guy, bad player, but what a joke he is.
That's Brady Tkachuk talking about Brendan Lemieux, the player who was traded for Zack MacEwen. But MacEwen had 4 goals, 10 points in 56 games. Like, dude, he more than doubled Parker Kelly's output. So let's not say that he's a complete scrub unless we're going to look at the fourth line last year and be like, hey, it's actually a step up. Now, Austin Watson was able to put up similar, if not a little bit better points, but you take away the Red Wings games and all of a sudden he's putting up Parker Kelly numbers. So Zack MacEwen, I mean, if you didn't think he's a fighter, like, I had to put it in his stats pack. I was like, how many fights did this guy get in last year? The answer is 7, had 66 penalty minutes as well. He's, to me, okay, over under 50 games, Zack MacEwen.
I think we actually did this poll, Ross. Maybe do your Twitter work and check on Sens Central what over under we did for Zack MacEwen. And I think I'm probably repeating, but remember, DJ Smith is the coach of this hockey team. I think he's going to play more games than people think. What official over-under are we going for? And then I'll give an answer.
Well, you know what? You've got a nice little memory on you there, Pilsy. Credit to you here as we're pulling up the poll we put up on Twitter. I put it at 60.5 games, and 77% had the under.
And that's a bit. Look at the sample size of the votes there. 2,013 votes. So that's quite a say there. I think that's such a good over-under. I think he's barely going to be under. I'm going to say...
You see how I clarified in brackets NHL?
Yeah. Yeah, good call. I'm going to say he's going to play right around 55 games, like pretty much what he did last season.
Yeah, but great locker room guy from everything we've heard. He's a PEI native. Yep. You know, those East Coast salt of the earth humans are always good guys to have around. So I think for Zack MacEwen, you probably want to be... less is more. Like, the less he touches the puck, probably the better. But if he, you know what, I say this about every fourth liner, you know what, Parker Kelly should take notes on this as well. The coolest thing that Chris Neal ever did is he would not leave the ice on his first shift until he got a lick in on someone.
Yeah.
Like, go in, like, start every game with a little bit of momentum, especially at home, get the crowd into it. Like, Sens fans would see Chris Neal come off the bench for his first shift, and it was like an immediate buzz in the building because he was going to run someone.
Yeah.
And I want Zack MacEwen to watch Chris Neil highlights and watch the way he went about creating energy for his team, because it's not always about just dropping the gloves, getting punched in the face a couple times. I'm all for that, but it's about creating momentum, and not only that, but making that defenseman who gets hit early in the game to look over his shoulder one extra time before he goes back and gets the puck. So those games within the games, I think, is where Zack MacEwen can make himself effective. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be a 10-goal, 15-goal guy, but if he can make himself effective beyond just throwing his fists, that would be a huge win for Ottawa, because, like you said, he's going to be in the lineup more games than not.
Yeah, and just like, look, for these fourth line guys, Parker Kelly, Zack MacEwen, just capitalize on the opportunities you're given. Like, you're not going to play much more than 10 minutes a night, if ever. So if you get a chance in the offensive zone and you got a good look at a wide open net, just cash in on those and get 5 goals in the season, kind of thing, right? Like, that's kind of what we're looking for here. And he's got the thing, if you're going to be a fighter like Zack MacEwen, I want him to pick his spots, because especially his win record isn't great. You got to pick the right spots and the right players and the right time of the game to execute your one move, your one time to get a fight going. And I think it can be like when a fight happens, can either bring a team's energy up or keep them going down. And that's a major factor that I think not a lot of people are fully aware of.
Zack MacEwen coming in at number 34 on our Locked On Senators organizational value rankings.